God bless everybody today. It is July 8th, 2023. I found this article. I think it falls in line with everything that we've been talking about. It's from Vox. Not extremely familiar with this organization, but I thought the article did lay out the Sweden issue, why Kurds are going to play an important part in what's coming up next, and how Turkey is going to affect the situation. So let's look at this article, and then I have an extremely important video coming out either today or tomorrow, depending on how fast I can put it together, because it's got a lot of detail that I'm going to put into this next video. I believe I have found, I may be wrong, believe I have found Erdogan's attack plan. I know that's saying a lot, but I believe that the historical event has happened in the past that will show us exactly what is to come in the future and how that's going to affect us as we move forward. But I want to set that video up with this, because this is what's going to lead into this attack on Iran and the Kurds, or the Medes, by Turkey in the next month or so as we move forward. And there's a couple dates that are extremely important, I think, as we move forward also, that we should be looking at. So let's get into this article first, and then we'll go from there. Now, in this article, it tries to explain to us, and I've been trying to explain this to you also, but I think this goes along with what I've been talking about, why this is happening and what's going to happen. I've been talking about how Erdogan, I believe, will leave NATO and tell Sweden that basically they're not going to allow their ascension into NATO. And so this article came out, and I thought this was extremely important. So if you look at this and you realize that not only Turkey is denying their membership, but you got Hungary. Okay, and so this is a roadblock, because if they don't allow this to happen, if it takes all members to ratify someone getting into NATO, and so this would be, as indicated in this article, actually a veto. And you can see, and there's another article I want to bring up into this conversation. I think it's going to add to this conversation. But the Turkish leader Erdogan is refusing to drop his objections because of the Koran burning, the effigy in Sweden, all these things. It requires all members of NATO to ratify these things. This is like a veto. If either one of them don't approve of this. It's all about the Swedish Kurdish ties, and I've talked about why the Kurdish are so important, because they're the Medes in history. And if you go into Daniel 8, that's all he talks about is Darius the Mede and the Medes. Okay, and the video that I'm going to bring to you will show you exactly why these Medes are important. And I'm telling you, I truly believe that I found extremely profound map that shows us exactly how this is going to go down in the next few months. And I'm going to present it but I want to present it properly, because I believe that it's going to show us exactly how this attack is going to play out and how Iran will literally fall. So Erdogan's going to make his move first, and that's why this is important, because I believe in this process of Sweden, he is going to leave NATO, which is then going to start this invasion process. Now, the last invasion was in November of last year through Operation Claw Sword. Will he rename it, move it to a different operation as he moves forward, or will he just leave it the same because it's a perpetual operation. I don't know how that will work. So this got really crazy because they let Finland in to NATO, but they would not allow Sweden to come in because they included some. They want Turkey. Turkey wants them to include all these anti-new terrorist laws. They want them in effect by June 1st. This really didn't happen. Sweden hasn't been following the due process of law, and with this Koran burning outside of Stockholm, this has added more tension. This has happened twice now, just recently, and a few months ago, like in March or something, I believe, is when that originally broke, that first burning, and we had that young Kurdish woman killed in Iran. All this is affecting also what's going on in Sweden. And Sweden's, in Turkey's eyes, protecting the Kurds, and so he wants all these Kurdish people extradited to him. So we're having this really interesting meeting on Monday, and this is going to start moving quickly. You got to understand this. We're at the end of this, and so we're going to start moving into this war quickly at this point, and this is going to break down quickly. So NATO's furious in general with Turkey that they won't allow this to happen. They're going to have a meeting on Monday. They have a massive impasse here. But Turkey's trying to get some things out of this. He wants weapons and things. So, as you go into this article, it starts to indicate about, F-16s and different things like that they're trying to parlay with. And I keep saying he's trying to arm himself before he goes down there. He's trying to get every lever that he can and all leverage possible so that when he does this attack, he can weather this. Now realize the United States, we have one or two, we have possibly multiple bases, but two or three major bases, and we just added a new base in the northern part of Syria with about 900 guys, so we really don't have any real presence there. So this is going to cause us a real problem because we just don't have the ability. We're mainly technical over there and training and things like that. So as you can see, as you walk through this article, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, you guys can read some of this. You need to come out and educate yourself to what is going on out here. And so when you walk through this, you realize, and there you go, there's about the F-16s. Biden administration is holding off on this because of all the issues going on here, and they're really not sure of Turkey's intentions. And so will they sell these F-16s? And if they deny him the F-16s, then that will probably be another reason he would potentially break from this coalition and leave NATO. Because if they're not getting any cooperation, then why would you stay anyway? And so when you go through here, you're going to realize that this is all about the Kurds, okay? And we're having these people being extradited and forced. Turkey's forcing Sweden and these other countries to bring these Kurdish people to him to prosecute them in Turkish law. And so this is extremely important as we move forward because, like I say, Erdogan believes that the Kurds are, or the Medes are, a terrorist organization, and he's going to genocide them as he's been doing for decades, okay? This hasn't been an overnight sensation for Turkey. He's going to finally finish this job as we move forward. So as you look at this and realize this is coming, okay, it's coming quickly, and this membership is going to be, I believe, the kickoff to the next portion of this attack that's coming up, and we're going to see that happen quickly. NATO also doesn't want to drag this out, so this is going to something's going to break on this front soon, and we're going to see just how this is going to play out. But in my opinion, and I've been saying this for a while, NATO will not see Turkey allow Sweden in until they leave. And then they'll have to decide what to do with Hungary. Maybe Hungary will just leave too, and then we'll start to see a literal breakup of NATO and some of this, these 20 some nations that are in NATO. And you might start to see this fragment down. So I just wanted to bring this report to you. I'm going to try to explain exactly how Erdogan is going to move through the Middle East and what he's going to do next. And I've talked about many times about how this is going to be a past event that reoccurs in the future, and that it's already been played out in front of us if we know our history. And if you go into the Bible and you look at what God gives us as references. Now, I don't usually get out of the Bible a whole lot. You realize that if you look at anything that I'm showing you, it comes directly out of the Bible. And I show you how history affects us and how that will affect us in the future. And so I don't really move too far from that pattern, because I think all the answers are found in the Bible itself. And so I think it's extremely important that we use these references and that we can't extrapolate too far beyond the Bible and what it's giving us as information, and that it will then distort it over time. And so we see all these different messages coming out, but they're moving these different regional groups throughout time when it really only happened in Daniel's time. And we need to look at Daniel's time and not how it extrapolates later into the future, and how these different groups of people move through time into Europe and Russia and all these different things. You have to look at what Daniel's seeing, and that he's talking about this area of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar and how it's going to affect the Middle East, and the area and the footprint that he shows us in these animals and the statue and all these things, and how this links together. And so we need to understand why it's important that we follow what God gives us, and not that we break it out much further than that, because then it really starts to really distort the picture, so you really can't see what's coming, and we get into areas of what I call the weeds, and it really doesn't make any sense after a while. Like Russia is Rosh, which has no biblical meaning whatsoever other than a translation error. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to do this next video. This is probably one of the most important videos that I'm going to do in a long time, because I believe it truly gives us the path of how this is going to be laid out and what's going to take place in potentially the next few months. So God bless everybody. Find the open door. Realize that this man is going to move the earth and heavens soon. He is chosen for this particular event. He's the white horseman that's going to bring this catalyst to the Middle East and change the whole picture. So we need to understand what he's about, and that he's ideologically driven, and that he's going to create massive havoc here soon. God bless everybody. Find the open door. Find Jesus. I will present this next video hopefully in the next day or so. There's quite a bit of setup and information that I'm putting into it, so I want to do a good job and make sure that it's clear and concise and gives you a potential map that's coming up so that you can understand exactly what's coming. God bless. Have a great day.